What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. Let's talk about it. But first, do me a favor. Hit that like. If you're new, hit that subscribe. It's free to you, but it means a lot to me. Okay, so when I scheduled this, I didn't see nobody live. But as soon as it got scheduled, I went to YouTube. It was like a couple people was on. But that's how I do my videos. So I'm gonna still rock out because happy Valentine's Day to anyone who partakes in that. Happy Valentine's Day. Um, But yeah, the whole family fell asleep around 10 o'clock. So I just woke up like, oh, let me do this real quick. Nobody on. But I want to talk about pros and cons in joining a group. Because, you know, um, believe it or not, by design, we are attracted to being in groups for various reasons. You know, um, there's studies to show that, but you can go outside and observe that in the animal kingdom and the insect kingdom. It's something natural for us to be in groups. Like I said, for various reasons, it can be for survival. You know, it can be for protection. It can be for a specific goal. You know, we all go to work. We work on teams. You know, after we do that job, we leave. You know, so what up? Chilling, chilling, bro. Yeah, and emphasis. Y'all hear an echo, but yeah, the main one is for, like I said, survival, safety. You know, three main reasons why we group up, and even in that, they say is safety in numbers. So no, no, you know what? I was just saying that when what up, realist? I swear, I had woke up. I talked to my wife like I'm gonna do a live real quick. We gonna watch a movie. Whole family knocked out. I woke up like let me do it real quick. Didn't see nobody. As soon as I scheduled it, I seen a couple people. I'm like, dang. So I start pushing the time back. But I appreciate that, really. But that's what that's how I make my video. So I said I'm gonna just knock it out real quick and then probably go chill in somebody else's chat. But I thought it was important because sometimes I feel like this. When you know something, you understand it, and you can then utilize it to make your personal experience here more enjoyable. You know, and I hear people, use, say I'm not in a group, I don't want to be in a group, but what I'm trying to say is natural. This is what we're supposed to do. But if we understand how to do it correctly, you can make it work for you, and it won't work against you. So that's why I want to have that conversation. Hey, April, appreciate you coming through. Make sure y'all put your links in the chat so we can support each other. But that's why I want to talk about it, because if we understand things, we understand how to utilize them, to use them in favor, to make it work for us. And this group is, it's natural. It's something that, I said we can do it for various reasons. It can be resources, it can be support, it can be survival, it can be evolving, you know, um, learning, teaching, so many different reasons. So we got to understand, like I said, how to use it, the pros and cons. When you coming together as a group, prosperity should be the main key, the growth. Um, there's no point of joining a group if you're not getting nothing out of it. And usually you don't get anything out of groups that you're putting too much into, because most people don't understand that anytime you interact with people is a exchange of energy. And when that energy ain't properly exchanged, someone is missing some. And eventually when that happens, it becomes a problem. I mean, look at today's society. The bottom tier people are paying for the upper tier people to live. And what do I mean by that? We pay more taxes, we work harder and reap less. And what they do, they just boss us around. They have control. They don't have to work because they convinced us to work for them. That type of group we're all familiar with, but that's not how we have to operate. If you truly think about it, we volunteer to do that. We have been tricked to volunteer because we all can make our own businesses. Think about it. If you're going to school to get a bachelor's, master's degree, you're educated in that field. But generally, 9 times out of 10, you go join a workforce instead of create your own. So that's willingly. You're willingly joining a group that you have to put a lot of effort into, and you're not getting the same out. You might get crumbs. But you're not getting the same out. But like I said, you go to school, get an education, and create your own. Then you begin to give people jobs, and not only give people jobs, but helping people get to where you are. That's a fair exchange. These businesses don't do that. Corporations don't do that. They don't continuously try to elevate people. They elevate people who they can control, who can control the other ones. Simple observation. I'm pretty sure everybody sees that. But that's how that works. So, and that's just the overstanding of what I'm saying of getting something out of a group. Because even a group of people that come together as friends, everyone is getting something out of it. It could be support. Um, it can just be the resources. I had plenty of friends be cool because of what someone has access to. And that's how we developed a friendship, you know. But the flip side of that, the con of that, is you get into the groups and you don't get nothing out of it. And we see that a lot in today's society. They call it the herd mentality. So when you're not getting nothing out of it, even if you're not putting that much into it, you gotta, where are you um, being led to? What are you being led to? We look in today's society and people just look at celebrities, idol them, and follow their lead. Even though they don't have access to the same resources, they trying to live like them. Like, that's crazy. That's the herd mentality. And usually those people click up and find excuses for behavior, find excuses for things they do. And it's a community. I mean, that's just like, right now we all in here, we chit chatting about positivity. We all heading one way. Some people come along for the long ride, some people come for the short ride, but we're heading somewhere in a positive area. Sometimes we jump off, and I'm speaking for myself, and I might go watch, some other things. But me personally, I don't indulge, but I watch. So same thing. But then I come back over here and continue down the path. We sharing information, bouncing ideas off of one another. We all getting something from out of it. We support one another. You come in my chat, you say what up, hit the like button. Even if you go, that's support. I do the same for you. We're getting fair exchange. But if you're doing that, and if you come into my page and I never go to your page, I never hit your like button, how long are we supporting one another, or how long is that going to work? If you hit my panel, but I never hit your panel, if you shot me out and I never shot you out, how long is that? That's what I'm saying. Am I being herded? We have to be aware of that, because if you ain't getting something out of something, there's something being taken away. Just like if you're in a group and you're not adding, you're subtracting. But if you're in a group and you adding and getting nothing back, it's the same thing. In life, you always supposed to get something out of something. That's just in life. So what I'm saying is just be aware because I'm just sharing information. Just be aware. Whenever you put energy and time into something, it should be fruitful. Unless you sowing your seed, especially when you do it with good intent. But don't be naive. If you're doing it and not getting nothing in return, that only can last for so long before you begin hurting yourself. And when I say by that, you might not be physically, but you know what? I apologize. I wasn't even looking at the chat. Positive vibes, not for us people. They like drama. And you know what? And that's why, April, that's why I appreciate your channel. That's why I love coming over there. And there's a bunch of people you introduced me to. I enjoy going to their channel because that is there. All that drama, negativity is there. And we're aware of it. Um, but look what we're doing, you know. Um, we're giving people another home, another choice, I should say. We'll give people another choice. That's there, but guess what? This is here too, you know. And I always say quantity over quality. You don't want no one. My grandmother always told me, you never want people around you who don't want to be around you, because eventually they'll find a reason not to be around you. And I never understood what that meant, but the older I got and the more I start dealing with people, I begin to understand. You'll get people around you a lot of time just to see you crash, just to see you fall. People will come around and wait, and after so long for waiting and it don't happen, sometimes they make it happen. That's what my grandmother was saying, and I'm pretty sure on some level we all experienced that. People around us who we thought they had our best interests or thought we was just good with them. And as soon as something negative happened to me, they was one of the first people to point their finger and laugh, or they were the one who initiated. This is the danger of being in groups. But this is also the benefit because when you're around like-minded people, everyone exchanging energy fairly. Um, we used to call that everybody eating. One of my OGs used to tell me, guess what? If you feed the wolves, they'll never be hungry. They'll just be focused. So many times I don't understand this concept. People think if you think about YouTube, there's a billion people on this planet. I don't know the specs on how many people use it, but just knowing there's over a billion people on this planet, that's enough room for everybody to grow. And in fact, Alan, what up? Perp, Nate, appreciate y'all. But think about that. It's enough room for everybody to grow. Not only grow, it's enough room for like-minded people to be at the top with each other. There's enough room. There's enough resources. We as people, so I don't even think it's the fact that we're stingy. This is just my understanding. People like to control things because they know other people want it. Just simple as that. They know other people want it, and it's power because now they can use that to manipulate people. That's why people like to have total control of things. Everyone want to be the top dog because they want people to come to them. And when they come to them, they want something to hold over them. I believe a lot of times that's why people want to be on top. But then you see another group of people who want to be on top. They want to be on top because they want to grow the top. They got there to show other people how to get there because they understand the more people they bring with them, a lot harder it is for them to fall because those same people who they brought with them ain't gonna let them. This is why gratitude, humility, all these attributes that a lot of times can make a person look soft. These are the things that inspire, create, innovate. These are the traits. People are afraid to be humble because of what other people think. But those who are understand the power in it, is more power in being um, polite to people. Is a greater energy in creating than it is destroying. It's easy to destroy. It's so easy. It takes time, effort, patience, and if you put love into creating, you create things like the pyramids of Giza, things that outlast the civilization of the people who created. We, um, Papa Will, salute. We a lot of times, especially in today's society, a friend, I cannot remember who, but they use the term microwavable society. I think it was Leticia, and that was perfect. You know, everything want to be instant, but it takes time to build quality things. And relationships with one another, those take time. But if you value it, a lot of times you'll welcome the opportunities that it brings, the good ones and the bad ones, because developing those relationships and using those opportunities builds the foundation. That's the mortar, you know, and we don't do that. A lot of times we expect things to be one way and go one way, and when it don't, we give up. But having strong groups of people, multiple people, like-minded people who understand, okay, now this is just your turn to feel down. We gonna pull you up because guess what? My turn might be next week. When you have those people like that around, people who, when they see an issue between two people, they go to mediate. Okay, let's fix this. Those are the type of people you want in a group. Those who are going to add, not those who want to subtract. So sometimes it's better to have small groups. What you say, Pops? Social. Yeah. Tonya, hey, sweetie. Happy Valentine's Day again to everyone who celebrates. Happy Valentine's Day. Um, so yeah, you need to receive. If you're not receiving and you're giving, you're not you're not you're not going to reap a reward from it. But also when you join a group, like this can be anything. We all familiar with the military, police force, sports team. We can even say, church. All those are groups of people coming together for a specific reason. Um, so in society and on here, we have to understand when we join group, where's that group going? What is that group's goal? What is that group's um, objective? And does it align with not only what I'm trying to do, but my morals and values? And the reason I say that is because me personally, I have learned to get along with people despite the differences. Because we have a goal. We're going to the same place. We might have differences of opinions in different areas, but we have this, and this is what's similar. This is what we're here for. This is why we're doing it. We have an objective. And a lot of times by doing that, you can put the differences aside and still work with somebody. And the more you do that, the more you're able to understand that a lot of those differences are just perspective and they're not that far off. You know, Royal Lee, salute, appreciate you. But then you might get in a group and y'all ain't going the same way. And by the time you look up, you going so you get. And I'm using this in the sense I use myself. You know, when I was younger, I had a friend, and this is after I cleaned myself up. You know, I started living right. He called me, and this was a good friend. Like I grew up with him, 14 years. He called me. He was like, "Hey, come with me." I'm like, "All right." You know, he asked me to ride. I ride. So we riding, we smoking. And he was like, grab that thing off the back seat. And I looked, and it was a chopper back there. I was like, where we about to go? Oh, this dude said such a man. I said, bro, let me out the car. He like, what? I said, let me out the car. He was like, you ain't gonna ride with me? I said, no. So he let me out the car. I called my cousin. My cousin came and picked me up. He called me the next morning and was like, man, I'm happy you got out the car because you know what? I was thinking it wasn't even that serious. Him and he was talking to a chick, and chick had a boyfriend. Boyfriend embarrassed him. Now you want to go back? Nah, bro, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm definitely ain't about to get in trouble for nobody else. And this ain't no real. Nah, I'm good. Honestly, if I was a little younger, I probably wouldn't have cared why. Oh, you did because that's how I used to be. But I matured. So sometimes, if you're not aware of the direction the group is going, you can be led into something. It ain't got to be serious, but why go through anything if you don't have to? This is a distraction. So you got to be careful with that. I mean, we see it. I mean, even I give you an extreme example. Look at the Coke. I'm pretty sure before them people drunk that Kool Aid, they didn't think they was gonna really die. And I'm pretty sure when they first joined the Coke, they didn't think they was gonna die. You know, we got extreme examples, but you know, we all experienced it, and some of us may have learned, but some of us may not. We may not understood. And is ignorant to think that anybody can't be manipulated. It's ignorant to think that, and it's different ways, different forms of manipulation. Um, but understanding that people do it, you become more aware, and maybe you can't catch it while it's being done, but you can catch it after a portion of time. You know, I've known people who, because they was embarrassed, they didn't want to stop living a certain way or stop doing something because they was embarrassed that they've been bamboozled. I wouldn't even call it pride. Some people call that pride. Um, I don't equate that to pride. I just say that's straight stupidity. If you know something wrong is wrong. I mean, just because you feel it ain't wrong ain't gonna change the fact that it's wrong. You know, and I've been in situations where I was with a group of people who had a certain status, and you know they saying certain things to people who don't, have much. Bums, making fun of them. Like, bro, that ain't cool. Well, nah, bro, that ain't cool. That made me reevaluate the people I'm with because yeah, we having fun, but at the same time, it's like this is what y'all do. So what else do you do? Like, how can, like I said, me personally, my personal belief is if I can't help it, I'm not gonna hurt it. So if I see someone, I don't care if it's a drug problem. No one deserves to live on the street. If I see someone living on the street and I can't help them, I'm definitely not about to kick them, talk about them, none of that stuff. So people who do that, like, what else do you do? What else are you willing to do? So I mean, yeah, April got yeah. Please, so hey, do we got? Is April's link in the chat? Um, yeah, I really enjoy April's lives. Great vibes over there all the time. Um, so please sub up to April. We support one another. If you get a blue wrench, drop your link in the chat. Um, it's free. The support is a small step in the right direction. So um, we need to make things like this habitual. We need to make simple supporting one another, even if you just stop by, drop a comment, hit the like button. That's still support. So make sure we do that. Thanks, Craig. But even that, we in groups on here. A lot of us are content creators. Some of us are just supporters. But even think about the people who ain't content creators. And I'm gonna throw her flowers, not just because it's Valentine's Day, but Perpetual. I appreciate her so much because she has become a content creator. Please make sure your link's in the chat because I enjoy my daily work. Um, but she helps me. She see things that I don't see. Uh, she makes sure the chat is cool. Craig, same thing. Appreciate y'all too. Um, so even though Perpetual now is making content, but Craig's not currently, they still adding. They're not taking, and that's what groups do. Everyone has different, unique traits about them, ideas, gifts. So me personally, that's why I never, I don't care to feel like I'm better than someone. I rather see how I compliment someone. What can we do together to create something new, create something beautiful? What can we come together on a topic and deliver the information so well that everyone understands it, that everyone feels it, that everyone gets something from it. What can we do? That's how I'd rather look at it than say, oh, this person do this or this person do that. I'm better. No, who cares? I just try to be better than myself. And Miss Eve James, last night we had a powerful build, and I always say that, I try to be better than the person I was yesterday. And she said something powerful, and it changed. This is why I say we can add to one another. It gave me a deeper level of thinking. She said, "Be better than you was 15 seconds ago." And when she said that, I felt it because it's like that's just gonna keep me constantly looking for ways to improve myself, to become a better person. Like I don't believe in being perfect. After studying a lot of different spirituals and religion, I understand that I wasn't created to be perfect. I was created to be divine. I was created to mirror the creator. I was created to come down here and create. And if you want to use the term in the glory of God, or I was here to create in the glory of the creator. I am an essence of the creator. That's just my personal understanding and beliefs from what I study and what I see. I am an extension. I'm here to um, maintain the creations that the creator created, evolve the creations, make them better, love them, nurture them. That's why I'm here. We all got our different purposes. Miss Queen, we all got our different purposes of why we're here. We all got our different missions. And that's mine. That's my truth. And that's how I understand everyone has their own. Everyone has a uniqueness to them. So instead of looking at the differences, we can bring them together because a lot of stories are similar. If you ever read two stories that are similar, you see one was missing what one other didn't have. Like I said, we're naturally created to come together. And think about it, if we created or designed to come together, but we're all different, isn't that not like a puzzle? Imagine if we put the different pieces together. the beautiful picture it can show. That's why I say all this is design. There's a lot of confusion that's been done to separate. You can blame it on Nimrod. He shouldn't have never climbed the Tower of Babel, maybe, you know. But what I'm saying is, we got to come together for the right purposes too. You know, that's the thing too. Like I said, it's cool to come together to entertain for entertainment. That's fun. You know, we go to different places, Nate's Club, music. We all in there having a ball. You know, in real life, you know, people gather, holiday, holy day, come together. So even entertainment, you know. But unfortunately, we see the latter side. You know, people come together, party, and something, you know, bad happens. So that's just duality. That's potential. Everything has the potential to be good or bad. So even at some good outings where the energy wasn't bad, bad things happen. Um, but what I'm saying is, don't come together with the intentions. You know, that's the thing we have to understand when we involve ourselves in anything that we have. It's a potential to influence. Well, it will influence. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get influenced, but the potential can be either good or bad. So understanding that everything that we do, anything that you interact, has the potential to influence. That's TV, radio, groups of people, anything that you encounter has the potential to influence you. But if you're aware that, you can understand how it's influencing you and if it's beneficial to you. Why allow something to influence you if you're not gaining from it? Again, always you reap what you sow. So if your intentions are positive and you put energy into it, you're gonna get positivity out some way or another, some form, shape, or fashion. You're gonna get positivity out. But if you do something, your intentions is negative, you're gonna get that. But the scary part is, like I said, manipulation. A lot of times we enter things not understanding what we enter. Sometimes it's too late. And that's because we're not aware. Because sometimes we don't think things can influence us. Like even watching a movie, we think that's innocent and it's not. So much stuff get downloaded in your subconscious. Listening to a song, we think it's innocent. No, it's not. Nothing is innocent. Everything is intentional. Music, radio, people, and it's some people with um, and I am it's people, and they can use this app, and they can understand just how those radios and TVs influence people, and they can do the same thing. They can do the same thing. It can be done. I see it all the time. And to be honest with you, it's not hard. That's why I don't come out here preaching like no preacher, and I'm careful with my words, how I say, because I understand I have the potential to influence. So how am I gonna try to influence? I'm gonna influence you to feel good. I'm gonna influence you to feel positive. I'm gonna influence you to be aware. That's my intention. That's what I'm trying to do. Every video, I promise you, I'm trying to make you aware to see things you may not have seen before. I'm trying to give you some information that you may or may not can use. You may pass it on to someone else. It may not be useful now. It might be useful 2 years from now. And because you heard me say it today, it's in your subconscious, so it makes sense 2 years from now. Stuff like that. That's how it works. But what I'm telling you is, I'm trying to add because I don't want to subtract. I apologize. I have not been looking at the chat. I just been rambling off. We do need to come together so people will understand voting, attending school board meetings, attending. And see, this is the beautiful thing what we're doing now. Um, People are waking up. People are starting to understand. A lot of people don't understand the importance of voting. A lot of people don't even think voting matters. And to be honest with you, I was one of them up until a couple of years ago, and then I understood. But then I still take this standpoint. I'm not voting for the lesser of two evils, and I have came up with a solution. What up, One Big Pond? Les, what up? Appreciate y'all coming through. And Church Foundation on the cellar. But I have learned how important it is. But like I said, I'm not voting for no lesser of two evils. So the solution I came up with is we need to, and people have been doing this. You see the 18-year-old mayor. We need to create our own candidates. People who have a direct connection with us, who understands our pain and understands what we need. And we need to we need to have our own candidates, like literally, like groom our own candidates from our children, excuse me, from our young men. We need to groom our own candidates. Everybody else do. You think these people aren't selected for a specific reason? Like, if you if you don't think these people are groomed for this, like literally groomed. If you think they not, you got to pay attention. We can do the same because we have voting power. We need to do the same. We need to stop. I'm not gonna say stop entertaining because some of us are just simply get that. There's a couple videos I say we need to stop, but what we need to also focus on is creating our own people to put in these positions of power, these positions of influence. And then we don't have to ask for anything no more. We don't have to beg. We can have conversations. That's what they do. There's a blueprint of how it's done. Not talking about chainsaws, but that's how it's done. Groom your own candidates. We got to start doing that. I mean, like I said, voting is very important. We need to get out there. We need more education. Um, and there's groups of people on here who are very informative. That's not my lane. I don't really know all about politics. That's not my lane. So, but there are people on here who understand it or are very informative about it. If they got pages, we need to go start listening to them. Maybe they can got more information than me, and maybe like I said, is the 18-year-old governor. That boy was groomed for that position. So maybe there's more people out there we're just not aware of that they are. But ultimately, for us to flex our voting power, we need to be voting for someone who has our interest in mind. Because if not, is any they all say they go do this or do that until they get there, and then they do what they want, and they ain't even held accountable after that. So my boy Dave ain't in here tonight, but yeah, I truly believe that if we understand, just have a better awareness of what we giving our time and our energy to. Um, have a better understanding what type of groups we join and how can we influence the group. A lot of times, people don't think that they can have a huge influence over um, a group, but I believe anytime you have just good intentions, that energy, um, it can just be, you can just be like a mother figure or a father figure. We need mentors. There's so many different things people can add. Um, Even from here, I think anyone. I wanted to create a mentor page where we could teach these young men how to tie ties. Just do little videos. Um, because I think imagine how many boys don't have fathers in the house to teach them how to tie a tie. I know a lot of grown men. I don't wear nothing but bow ties, and they gotta be self ties. I'm bougie like that. When I put a suit on, I'm very bougie. I feel like James Bond. I only wear bow ties, and they have to be ones I can tie, or I won't wear it. I am bougie like that. Okay, but there's a lot of men who don't know how to tie ties, shine their shoes. Um, Never had a tailored suit. And these are things that when you look, I usually wear Under Armour and Nike and sweats and when I'm chilling, but when I put a suit on, like I said, I'm in bond mode. I feel good. I'm going out. I'm a look how I feel. You know, um, that's my thing. But that especially a young man going for a job interview, a young man even going to church, going on a date. A young man should know how to get clean like a gentleman, you know. And a lot of young men don't have that father figure, that uncle, don't have that person in the home. So I wanted to start a channel, just understanding proper etiquette. I wanted to make being a man cool, Let's make being a man cool, not a gangster, not a thug, not a D boy, a man. When I was younger, I used to look up to my uncles like I'm gonna be like them, and they were men. That's what I inspired to be. I got put in a different environment, and I seen other people I inspired to be at that time. But I remember, like 7, 8 years old, like I want to be like my uncles. One of them was a lawyer, the other one was the CEO of U.S. Airways, my daddy's brother. And I seen them with briefcases, long tie, bow tie. I wanted to be like that. We need to make that cool again. Cause there's a lot of these young dudes looking up. The people below you always go look up to you. And that's not saying the young people are below me. I'm just talking about age. They look and see what older people doing. That's just the kids do that. We do that. We look forward. We look to where we're going. And when we're talking about age, younger people look at older people. So even I used to always say I ain't no role model. I ain't nobody role model. But when you're a man, it's like I guess there's an unwritten obligation, you know, to produce manhood even when people ain't looking. And in doing that, people look up to you. You become a role model. It ain't something that we should shy away from. Is people are more proud to define themselves as a race, as a religion, as um, gang, whatever it is, they a job. That people aren't proud to say they're men no more. Because if you look at it, the people running around saying, I'm a man, like you don't provide and you're not protecting. You can't be a man if you ain't doing those two things. Those are the natural qualities of man. Given, those are like rules given by the creator. This is why I created you, to protect and to provide. And if you're not doing that, you're not doing what the creator designed you to do. So how can you call yourself something that the creator created and designed and you're not living up to it? That's the nicest way I can say it. If you're not doing that, you're not a man. And it's so much of that in today's society. And 50-50, that's how I feel. 50% their fault, 50% society's fault. Because it's hard to become something that you don't have, you can't look forward. You don't know how to look. So you're just trying to figure it out yourself. Because the people who are supposed to be setting an example, my age and older, are not doing a good job at it. For some odd reason, they trying to be like the kids. They trying to either regain their childhood or they just never grew up. It's standards. Cole, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. Hey, man, I was trying to keep up with that game earlier, bro. I was doing it on my phone and my babies was crying, but it was fun. I had a blast. I'm definitely go check that channel. I shared you out too. I'm definitely when I see you playing games, I'm definitely because that was very enjoyable. Appreciate you. Y'all go check Cole out too. Y'all can drop his link in the chat for me, please. Y'all check Cole out. Good vibes. That's what I say. Really coming on here for entertainment. That was fun. You get together with people, playing a game. That was fun. But there's not enough men no more. Not enough examples for these young. I mean, not enough people willing to set example. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's necessary. I mean, if you can name me 3 things in life that's easy, that was actually fruitful for the masses, I love to hear it. I love to hear it because uh, things that usually come easy don't benefit a group, but it can benefit an individual. I'm a living testimony to that. Uh, I can make my life. I'm comfortable, you know, and it wasn't hard once I understood. But what would be hard is to make multiple people lives comfortable. That'd be hard, but that'd be worth it because, like I said, if something happened to me, then I have 3 other people who I could depend on. And when you're at the top, it's lonely up there, yeah, because you understand if you fall, there's no one up there to pick you back up. No one up there. So even just thinking about that, I want to touch on we don't need to compete with one another. Like I said, complement one another. And by doing that, us older men, we got to start setting an example. Like I said, it's not easy. Sometimes you got to swallow your pride. Sometimes you just swallow it. Okay, it's not gonna make the situation better. Being a bigger man, um, this is just my understanding of the situation. Um, Being a bigger man, I was always told, is showing the most power because it's not when someone attacks you. Um, that's just a sheer show of strength. So it's power in knowing you can do something and not doing it. So if I know someone is attacking me and it's not gonna hurt me, I can walk away. I can walk away because you have to. I read The Art of War. I probably read it once or twice a year. I think I read that book probably about 16 times. But it's not about the battle. It's always about the war. So sometimes you'll lose battles. Put yourself in position to win the war. So what I mean by that, sometimes somebody might be having a bad day, and you let that bad day go. Something happened between y'all. You let the bad day go, and later on, y'all build together and create something beautiful. The war is it's not us competing with one another, but us because we have a goal. We have something we're trying to accomplish. So that one bad day, I let that go because once we accomplish that goal, it's gonna be worth it. We got family that we do that to, and I'm not saying it should be warranted, but what I am saying it happens. So when it happens, how understandable are you? This is just my personal growth. And then you have to analyze if it's worth it. There's a lot of stuff to go involved. But I'm just giving you an example. A lot of different variables. You got to make sure it's worth it. Make sure the goal is worth it. Make sure that it's a habitual thing, something that's going to keep occurring. There's a lot of stuff you got to take in consideration. But the whole thing I'm saying is being humble, understanding, picking and choosing your battles. Because you got a lot of battles. We're going to be battling until the day we close our eyes and go. Which ones are worth fighting? Which ones are worth walking away from? And the older you get, the more wiser you become on how to do this. Unfortunately, I had to learn this lesson really quick. Not I'm talking about in real life, and it was some hard lessons that taught me this lesson. You know, so that's why I always like people younger than me. I always try to pound this in their head because today's society they teach you about they put hey spell. You're right, Pop. Hold on. Just always look toward doing what you can for others and put hate spells on people that steal from you. Now, Pop always helping somebody. Pop, I appreciate you, Pop. But yeah, I always try to pound this in kids' heads because when you're young, we live in a society, and I call it jump out the window. Somebody say something to you, and you're just ready to attack. But like the way I grew up, you couldn't afford to jump out on the wrong person because a lot of times people did that just so you can do it. They wanted you, they wanted a reason to do something. So they call it gaslighting, and you had to be smart because I've seen people get set up like that, like literally set up like that, and you didn't have a second chance. You don't get a do over. So I had to learn from real life experience, and it helped me when I went into the hospital because, like, when I was working in the hospital, like I said, I worked around a lot of, I worked around a lot of white people who, we working in the province area who had a non-working opinion about black people and why they was in the condition they was in at the time. So they say a lot of condescending things and a lot of, and it used to make me upset because like some of the people I actually knew, this was the old neighborhood I grew up in. So I understand Mr. Johnson who just got shot and fell out the window. I understand Mr. Johnson. He just retired from Chrysler. He bought a house, right? And when he was working on that house, some punks broke in, tried to rob him, shot him. He fell out the window. I know Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson used to work at Chrysler. I used to shovel Mr. Johnson's snow for $10, and he'd give me 50 every time the snow hit. Break his leaves, $10, he'd give me 50. So I knew Mr. Johnson. Not Mr. Johnson old. So the doctor come in and said, "Oh, I bet you he was smoking crack and thought he can fly." Like he got shot. What is you talking about? Oh, he probably shot himself when he was smoking crack and jumped out the window. Like what? The doctor said the dude who about to operate on him said that. How am I supposed to feel? I snapped because I know Mr. Johnson. I got rolled up because I threatened him. But I had to learn from that. So I just began to show him a mirror that was racist, and I explained to him how. That was condescending, and I'm explaining to you how. I had to learn, but it took time. And sometimes I didn't say nothing because I had to understand, uh, even the people in the room, if they was all willing to take the doctor's side because they're a doctor, I'm going to lose the fight automatically. So I had to, if I wanted that job, I had to pick and choose my battles. What you say, Craig, doesn't mean they can move in. Yeah, you can't, and that's what I say. When you have an interaction with someone, it has to be a fair exchange of energy. Like you can, um, even a teacher and a student. If the teacher is teaching the student properly, the student will learn, right? But if the student learns, the teacher learns too on how to teach the student properly, learning new techniques. The teacher's also getting gratification that they can replicate, that they can teach, they can grow, they can nurture. That's what the teacher is getting out of it, is the growth of the student. So if the student is not growing, then the teacher is not receiving either. No fair exchange. Everything works off of that, believe it or not. Um, Mother, why do we have kids? Honestly, it's for our own selfish needs, ain't it? So now once they get here, we have to nurture them. We have to take care of them. But ultimately, we have kids because we want kids. We want to produce. We want our legacy to go forward. So it has to be some fair exchange. And I'm not saying, people who, I'm talking about people intentionally having kids. I don't want to offend nobody because, different things in life happen. So I'm not, sometimes, unfortunate things happen and bad things happen. But I'm talking about intentionally. Like me and my wife wanted to grow our family. That's why we had kids. So now that they're here, I'm getting what I need, but I got to give them what they need too. Everything should have a fair exchange. If not, it becomes unnatural things begin to happen. Like trying to talk to me because I don't ask them. They can come at me, yeah. But it should always be a fair exchange. And if not, then you got to become aware of that. You have to be responsible. Sometimes you walk away. Sometimes you just you know, let people know, like, look, this ain't working like this. You never know. Things can change. People can tweak things. Conversation is important. Communication gives clarity. There's a lot of different things that give clarity. Communication does, and also communication gives clarity. It can give clarity, I should say. It's always good to get a proper understanding of things. And a lot of times, we got to understand this too. We all come from not only different backgrounds, but on this app, a lot of us come from different time periods. You know, like I am so amazed to hear, like my grandmother used to tell me how she used to run down to the shop to do the telegrams. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you was alive doing the telegrams? So my grandmother's saying all the way up to the touchscreen phones. And I used to just imagine, I still do. And then I started thinking about me. I seen the Polaroid pictures. And now I'm seeing people take pictures on their phones. But I'm like, wow, I got to watch all this black and white TV to color TV. Like I said, I mean, they probably had color TV when I was younger, but I didn't have one. So I grew up on black and white TV. Up until I moved with my mom, I didn't even know about cable until I was like 10 years old. So that was what, 94. So I don't know when cable came out. I didn't know about cable until I was 10 years old. When I say we lived in the backwoods, we lived in the backwoods. But so that amazed me. And like these younger generations, like they don't even know what a rotary phone looks like. Some of them don't even know what a house phone look like. So we in different, not only different genders, different backgrounds, just different time periods, different lingos, different ways of speaking, different ways to express ourselves. There's a lot of differences, and a lot of times those differences can get in the way. But what I'm saying, if we're aware of that, we can be more understanding. We can be more patient. There's a lot of different ways to combat that. It's just awareness. That's one thing that I focused on. Eve said something, and I didn't think about it until she said it last night. Um, she said, "I know you can agree with me with this because you research and look for information, and when you're doing that, you begin to change, and you get lonely because you look around and everyone's different. They're not doing this. They're not unplugged from the matrix, and." I never looked at it that way until she said it. In a sense that, I never felt lonely, but I start thinking about the time that I dedicated to studying, to research, even now, you know. Um, and everyone, to me, it's normal. This is normal to me. Like research information, all that stuff is normal to me. But I didn't realize, like everybody don't do this. Everybody don't do it. And I know a lot of times, even when I talk, I try to say things in a sense where I use different things to explain it, so people can grasp my ideas, what's in my head. And a lot of times I use religion, spiritual practices because that's what's familiar with people. I try to use what's familiar, um, and sometimes it take away from what I'm trying to say. Uh, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is people understanding or at least grasping what I'm trying to say. That's more important. But um, like I said, I ain't trying to come on here and be no preacher pimp or nothing like that. No hotepper or nothing like that. Um, I'm literally just trying to share, and to convey the message properly, I got to understand the audience. But the audience is different. So how do I do it? Try to find things that people are familiar with. But that's my intention. You see what I'm saying? You people anytime people do anything, there's always intentions behind it. And a lot of people don't even think about that. Anytime somebody open look, I'm a little weird in the head maybe, but anytime someone talks to me, the very first thing I think about is like, what's their intentions? That's the very thing before I really hear what they're saying to me. That's the first thing I think. What are their intentions? Are they uh, trying to give me information, share information? Are they trying to influence me? Like, what is the intention of it? Anytime I read something, that's reading comprehension, right? We learned that in school. It's reading comprehension to find the intentions of the writer. So anytime I read something, I do that. Anytime I watch something, I do that. I make myself aware because now I can understand the potential of influence it can have if it's good or bad for me. That's just me. I'm sick in the head. That's something. That's a tool I want to share with y'all. Is awareness. Like um, a lot of people talk about the third eye, and to be honest with you, that's what it is. That's what it is. Having awareness when awareness. I'm not gonna get into that, but that's what it is. Queen, appreciate you. I apologize. Like when I be building like this, I don't look at the chat a lot. I ain't got my glasses on either, so I got to highlight it. I could just see like the dark writing, like Miss America. Hold on, I missed what you said, Les. Ask yourself, why is that? Elaborate for me, Les. Why do I why do I do that? Is a couple reasons I do that. One is kind of programmed in me from um, yeah, it's kind of programming me to analyze everything. And two, I found a benefit. I would take if you ever if you ever take an idea from or a concept from one part of your life and apply it to another part and see it work. What I mean by that, like maybe you got a job and that job requires you to be. I'm not saying you're not like. Well, I'm gonna just say it. Just say I'm gonna use myself for example. You know, if I had a cleaning job, right, and my job all day I'm cleaning, and then when I go home, I see something. I'm programmed to clean, so I'm gonna clean it up. Now, what the habit that I had at that job transferred over to home. Maybe before I had this job, I wasn't the cleanest person, but now I am. Any concepts that I find beneficial, I always apply them to different parts of my life, and analyzing things. I like to know because sometimes, like for me, believing is not good enough. I choose. That's a choice. I don't believe in anything. I know, and to get to the level of knowing is, you know, you have to know. So if you want to find a fact or factual thing, you can say it's scientific method, but my opinion is experience in it. Um, that's how I came to an understanding of knowing the things that I know. Is from a lot of it is from personal experience, and a lot of it is just from facts that can be proven, mainly through observation. Um, so that's what. Yeah, so that's why I analyze things because I need to know. You know, the better I know, the better I can understand if various things. Either if I can on different levels, if I can tolerate it, or if I can't. If it's useful or if it's not. Um, if it's prosperous towards for me or if it's not. Um, so that's why I have to know because a lot of times, you know, like I'm when you're younger, we take so many risks. You know, we waste so much time because we feel we have time. You know, so I can take my time doing this. I ain't gonna say take my time, but I can volley off some time with this because I got time. But when you become older, you understand how precious time is. It becomes precious, right? When you're younger, you just wanted to speed up. When you're older, you wanted to slow down. Um, so now it's like I use that. I use time to make better decisions by analyzing things, by thinking about things. And sometimes it takes a long time for me to come to a decision. Sometimes it don't. But I rather utilize that time and to because I and then I got that confidence in myself where I can feel where I know if I take time, it can be like I said, long or short. I make a better decision versus just making a impulsive decision. I mean, I've proven that to myself. I make better decisions when I think about it versus when I don't. And thinking is not thinking in the sense that like you're really thinking. It's more of a feeling. I take time to analyze the information and see how it makes me feel, if that makes sense. I go more off my intuition a lot of times. Uh, so when I say thinking, a lot of times I'm talking, I just need to process the information and see how it feels, if that makes sense. Appreciate you. What are y'all talking about? But yeah, that's like my wife. My wife says my wife says a superpower, um, because like she can present a problem and I can find a solution or find a way to buffer it. So my wife says the way I think is like a superpower, and it's not more or less. It's taking the time. I just think if you take a little bit more time, even before I speak, it's just cool. I don't know if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. I thought this was I used to debate a lot. I think I got it in my pictures, but I used to debate a lot, and when you debating, people think it's about the information. It's really not. You just got to be more convincing than the other person in the debate. That's all you really got to be. So I would, yeah. Let me see if I can. Okay, it's in here. So I just got to share my screen, right? Okay, let me see how to do that. But yeah, when you're debating, it's really not about who's right. I mean, what's right and what's wrong. It's about who can convince the other person that they're right, or who can convince the crowd, who can be more appealing. And that's all a debate is. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Well, let me share this real quick. I thought this was kind of cool. Before you speak, think: is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? I don't know if you can see the bottom part. Hold on, let me move that. Oh, that's not it. And is it kind? Think before you speak. And I adopted this when I stopped debating because just like the roasting community, I used to be brutal. Because it wasn't about, it was just about um, being right. It wasn't even if the information was right. And once I figured that out, and that's how they play it, I wanted to become the best. So to get away from that, I started adopting different principles. And I thought this was good. And this lines up with speaking with gratitude within the 42 ideas of my life. So I use this a lot of times, especially as it necessary. That's the one I worked on because a lot of times, like a lot of people, I'm very opinionated, especially when I see something that I think that is a better way. I'm very opinionated, and this helped me understand. I got a concept, right? And it's just me. I believe my opinion is valuable only if someone's asked for it. If they ask for it, it becomes valuable. But without someone asking me an opinion about them, it's worthless. Um, so I adopted that ideology I created for myself. Um, that I try to only offer my opinion, like when it comes to people, if it's valuable, and meaning if they request it. Um, so that's how I use that. Is it necessary? But I thought that was when I seen that. I had, like I said, I was just getting out of debating, and when you coming out of it, and then you get around people who who not well informed, but they start trying to talk about different things. Um, instead of them, you have an intellectual sparring match. You can burn a bridge or two. Um, so I had to. That's part of like me displaying humility. Is understanding like my opinion ain't necessarily always required. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Hold on. Queen, you dropping jewels. My eyeball just ain't working right. The one that work ain't working right now. Hey, Pop, I appreciate you for saying that. That means a lot from you, Pop. It really do. Pop, that I appreciate that. Anytime, um, anytime an elder says something, we should take heed because the experience that they've been here, they know what they're talking about. That's why that means a lot to me, Pop. I appreciate that. Yeah, Craig. I appreciate you too, Craig. And see that this is why I love this group of people because like this is what I'm talking about. I am so grateful that y'all in the chat. If you're watching this on playback, please look at the live chat and you'll get a great example of what I'm talking about of energy being exchanged, being in a group of people who build each other up. You know, sometimes it's you shouldn't need someone to say nice things to you to feel good about yourself, but it's always wonderful when people see the good things in you, and acknowledge it. Because, like me personally, I put my head down and I do what I got to do because that's my responsibility and that's just what I got to do, you know. And the reason I use the term "put my head down" because I'm it's more like having blinders on. I'm just focused, you know. And when you look up and people noticing the hard work you put in, it pushes you because you are going the right direction, headed down the right path. You know, so I'm always grateful because I never expect it. Honestly, I don't. I don't expect it. So when it happens, that's why a lot of times on my videos you hear me showing gratitude because I am. I'm grateful. Because they don't have to. No one has to say nice things or do nice things to you. We live in a society where we see this on a daily basis. No one has to. So when they do, be grateful. That's not hard. Whereas these are rules for everyday life that I teach the kids with special needs. Very good words of advice. Yeah, and see that's the thing. Um, these are things that we all, even adults, can take heed to, can learn from. You know, if no matter what your religious or spiritual beliefs, even if you ain't, even if you're an atheist, right? Isn't the goal to be um, the best version or person you can be? And not, and that requires niceness, love, compassion, all the higher vibration, frequency, emotion. That's what that requires. So we all can inspire. Um, like I said, it's easy. It's easy. You know how easy it'd be for me to just turn on the mic and just start cussing and fussing. That's easy. That's easy. It's not easy to say things inspiring because on what level can I say something that can inspire anyone in this crowd? For me to say something to inspire, there's a lot of the people in here, highly motivated people. So I have to say something spectacular, to inspire the people. I have to say something powerful, meaningful. I have to say something from the heart. I have to say something with good intention. to do that. And if I'm not all lined up like that, that's hard. Some of us, it come natural because it's genuine. We're coming from a genuine place with good intentions. So some of us make it look easy, but it's not. It's not. It's easier to do the other thing. But guess what? That other thing don't last long. You can't do that all day. And the more you do it, if you notice, what's the he passed away a couple years ago. Um, the comedian from Full House. I can't remember his name, but when he first started doing comedy, it was a little on the edge. But the more he did it and people clapped, the darker it got. That's because he had to feed it more. And you'll see that with some content creators going darker and darker and darker. They got to feed it more. And that's not no knock against nobody. I'm just telling you, that's just how it works. Anytime you gain something off a negative or positive, to get more of it, you got to feed it more. That's just what it is. Oh, my little munchkin woke up. Okay, you ready to go night night? Okay. But I just want to the pros and cons of joining the group. The pros are you benefit. You know, you get with a group of like-minded people where y'all can build together. People can enjoy the prosperity of the work that the people did. You know, proper exchange of energy. Um, you benefit. The cons is you waste time. Situations you get into. The biggest con is the influence part. You get into the wrong group and become influenced, and you begin to do things you regret or do things that don't line up with your moral compass. We're all susceptible to be manipulated in one shape or form. That's just fact. We're not aware. So, in my opinion, that's the biggest con. I was gonna drop the link, but my son woke up. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. But I appreciate everybody coming out, rocking, supporting, taking the time out your day listening. It really means a lot to me. I apologize I couldn't really see in the chat. Usually when I got somebody up here with me, I can look more in the chat, but my eye ain't working right today. I can't even find the thing. I appreciate you for your knowledge. You cover subjects so I don't have to be the one to. Hey, that's why I say we got to work off each other. Um, that's why I say if we work together as a unit, we can get enough information out here to have an impact, to actually have a positive impact in people's lives. Like Cat Daddy, shout out to Cat Daddy. Yesterday he said he created a checklist um, where he feel kids should accomplish before they're at certain ages. And I think if that's something implemented in every household, I think that's positive. That it can instill discipline in the parents and the kids. It can put a work ethic into the kids. Uh, I think it's just beneficial all the way around. And having ideas like that where we can share, Um, we can all implement things. You know, that's how you make positive change. So I think we all, like I said, we all get a different ideas that can be built upon, that can be shared. We all do. We all do little things in our lives. We all came up different ways where we can share that information and begin to implement different things, like I said, to make life better. And that's why I just come on here and share my opinion, my insight on things. I'm not coming on here trying to be no teacher, no lecturer, no, I'm just trying to share and hope people share back with me, you know. Um, because like I said, maybe I said something and you can say it the same way or similar way, and we can touch more people. Maybe you can correct what I'm saying. Because, like I said, me personally, this is just my perspective. So if you can add to it, if it's something that I may put too much, spice in the gumbo, uh, I'm always open. So please, I ain't got my email going down there, but please feel free. And like I said, I apologize tonight. I couldn't really read the chat. Um, yeah, Bob Saget. Dang, I missed that much. I apologize, y'all. Yeah, I ain't even got my other tablet up. I usually have my other tablet up so I can see. Yeah, experience April. And that's what I learned. The more I experience things, the more clarity I have. Um, so, just even the path that I'm taking now is a lot more clear than it was uh, 2 years ago. A lot more clear because I got more clarity. I have experience living with my limited sight, and at first it was scary, but now it's like I'm used to it. I done found ways to adapt any insecurity that I had. I found different vices and different things to let's just say um, clear those concerns. So that's why I said it has been a blessing. Any pain that I've received, I always found blessings within. So that's why I say I want to. That's why I come on here to share because I know, unfortunately, a lot of us have suffered from things in the past, and it currently plagues our future. But it's a lot of people who got over them, not over got over them, but learned from them. And I've learned from a lot of those people how to heal myself and how to use that pain and turn it into muscle. So that's why I like to share, some of my experiences, uh, some of the things I've been through. D Truth, appreciate you, brother. Hey, I appreciate being on that panel with you last night. I'm gonna try to get over there tonight, brother. But I gotta wake up, take the babies to the doctor in the morning. So I don't know if I can kick it that long, but I'm gonna put a reminder on. That was a powerful bill we did last night, D Truth. I appreciate you. Um, but yeah, that's why I always just come on here and just try to share the information. And tell you what worked for me. Like I said, it might work, it might not, but at least you got another tool in the toolbox, right? And by having these conversations, the more people get involved, the more perspectives we get. The more perspectives we get, the more ways we have to look at things. Um, there's different ways to the same goal, different paths. You put a address in your GPS, it'll probably give you 3, 4 different directions. So just because my way ain't the way, maybe somebody hit the panel and their way is. That's why. That's what this channel is about. That's what I'm about. Because collectively, um, like I said, this is how I look at people, like different pieces of a puzzle. And there's no clear picture when we all separated, but when we come together, all those differences put together gives you clarity of the picture. So Tay Eats, what's up? Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. This little boy, where did he go? Yeah, my son tripping. Um, yeah, he lying on the floor now. So let me get him back in the bed. He be, yeah, spoiled like his mama and his sister. I done spoiled everybody. The dog even spoiled. I have a bad tendency of spoiling. But hey Tay, I was just right before the show. I didn't do two of them, but um, I did one bowl of noodles, and my nose was running at the whole beginning of the show. If I would have cammed up, you probably would have clipped me. So, but yeah, I tried to do that, and yeah, I couldn't do it. I still got a half a bowl, and I only used one bowl. Them noodles ain't no joke. I'm too old to be eating hot stuff like this. I'm gonna pay for it later. Hey, make sure everybody y'all links before I end it. Please make sure y'all links in the chat. If somebody can drop D Truths out too, I appreciate it. Um, because like I said, support each other on here, hitting the subscribe. It's free, but it's the it's a small move in the right direction. Um, and that energy exchange, we support each other. Stop by, say hello. Watch a video, drop a comment. It don't cost us nothing, but it means a lot to the creator. So we can do that. I appreciate you, D True. Um, Tay, I ain't brave like you. See, look, you can get away with it. I'm 6 foot, 242 pounds right now. If somebody see me on video coughing and nose running, and nah, I'll be all through YouTube. All on Instagram is a meme that had Michael Jordan face on me eating the noodles. I'm straight. You can get away with that, Tay. I can't. They yeah, I get got, and Native probably be the main one making a meme out of me. He'll probably put babies on me, and nah, man, I can't do it. But yeah, if we just be aware. Just make this is all I say. When you join a group, make sure you're getting something out of it, and make sure the group is getting something out of you. It should always be a fair exchange when you're interacting with people. You should get something from the people. They should get something from you. That's balance. That's harmony. That's how you build. You know, it's a fair exchange, and make sure y'all heading in the right direction too. Because, like I said, when I was young, I understood time as something that I had. The older I got, I realized the less I had. So make sure you're going in the right direction when you join the group, and that's on any level. Um, that's if you even like when you join in a church, make sure that church is going in the right direction that you're going. If it's spirituality, make sure that group, because it's not the word, it's the people. You know, it's not the word to be bad; it be the people. It's not the. A lot of times it don't be the product; it be the people, the way they use the product. You know, um, so just be mindful of that, and always just be aware. And like I said, you don't have to be OCD like me and try to break down and analyze everything, but just be aware. Always at least understand the intentions of people and even movies, music. Be aware of the information you're receiving, because that information has the potential to influence you one way or another. Thinking, feeling. Um, a lot of times it's off emotion. You know why? That's why we say care about how you feel. You know, always care about how you feel, because those emotions, that's frequency. That's frequency. We'll get into that one day, but let me jump off here. I appreciate all y'all rocking with me. I didn't even know I was going to be um, doing the video this long. I plan on jumping on for an hour and jumping off, but I greatly appreciate y'all. Um, if you ain't hit the like, hit that like. If you're new, hit the subscribe. It's free to you, but it means a lot to me. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor, share it. Help me spread the word. But I'm out.